Hi everybody, my name is Ko, and if you're a bit lost on where to build your base in Abiotic, at least in the early game, me and my friend Chopsticks have a few suggestions for where to start building your base when you start the game. The first location is already at the start of the game, the cafeteria. What makes the cafeteria so great is how spacious it is. There's a lot of space for you to build and just basically put whatever you want, wherever you want. There are a few vending machines around, so you can use these to eat if you don't have any food to cook and you have the money to spare, but if you feel like you want to cook, there's also a stove nearby in the kitchen section. At the very beginning of the game, there is a pan with a cooked pork chop on top of it. Grabbing this will let you get to cooking right away. Unfortunately, there's only one available stovetop, but later on you'll be able to make your own portable stove so you can have more space for cooking. We also have some bathrooms over here, so if you need to take care of some business, you can do so here. There are some sinks here that have water that occasionally refills. And depending on where you put your crafting table, as this may stop enemies from spawning, you could have a steady source of food by killing these pests that spawn in the bathroom. Next to the kitchen, there's a room labeled security. If you'd rather have a smaller and intimate space rather than using the whole entire cafeteria, this could work out as well. You can get coffee from here for $1, which is a very nice deal if you ask me. In the storage room in the back, if you wait until nighttime for the power to turn off, then by crawling through the vents, you can get past the moving fan to access the rooms in the back. You'll find another outlet in the back, and here in the storage room, you can find an early anvil that lets you make a salvage and repair station early on. You'll want to open this as well, as it will lead to shortcuts to later sections of the whole entire facility. Another location nearby will be the lobby at the very beginning next to Officer Warren. The main lobby is the central location of the game and acts as a hub for you to get around to the rest of the areas of the game easily. It's not too far from the cafeteria, so you'll be able to have some of the amenities there. A few hours after you've made some progress in the game, the lab rat enemy will spawn in. He will run around and drop some materials, so that way you can have a steady supply of scrap metals and whatnot, but by killing him in a specific way, you'll be able to get the Rat Pack backpack, which is a very huge upgrade for your backpack spaces. If you want to know how to get this bag, then I'll leave the method in the description of the video. Once you've obtained the level 1 keypad hacker, you can get inside Warren's room. Warren will still be behind the fences inside, but you can turn this into a small bedroom so you can feel a bit more secure. The fountain in the middle can be fished, so if you have a fishing rod, this is a great way to get some food. One last notable thing is the server room nearby. In this room, there are a number of pests so you can kill for food as well. And lastly, the lobby is the central location of the game where you can connect to different parts via shortcuts and tram system. Those two bases were at the start of the game. Let's move on to the next section, starting with offices. One of the best locations I recommend is at the gym. The gym makes for an excellent spot because there's only one way you really have to defend from wandering enemies. Although the trade-off is that it's in a pretty small location. You can use the pool nearby to clean yourself off or turn it into drinkable water, and because of this location, you can really navigate to a lot of different areas within the office section. And there's a bathroom right downstairs with a refillable sink in the locker room. This is a good start for a base in the office, but there are some better options coming up. Moving from the gym base, we're moving towards the elevator and the office sector. Before getting on the elevator to access Silo 3, facing the elevator, continue going left. We call this location the office elevator base. And before you skip over the gym base to go to this location instead, you can only access this area once you have the keypad hacker level 1. Once you've obtained access, this is an excellent base. There is a lot of space, some outlets for you to plug in devices. It is actually really close to the main lobby of the game. Enemies for the most part cannot climb ladders, meaning the only thing you have to worry about is the portal storms where the enemies invade your base. But for the most part, enemies that do come in through this way will spawn in downstairs so you can watch them from above through the windows. And if you need to charge anything, there is a charging station downstairs if you go past the elevator going forward. And the nearby biolabs will have materials like test tubes to keep your base supplied. Personally, this is one of my favorite base locations and it lasted me a good while until I found something much better later on. The final base I'll highlight here is the security office. Moving from the office elevator base, it's actually not that far from here. But once again, it will require the keypad hacker 1, so you just cannot skip to this base immediately. This base offers a lot of outlets and is very spacious, and I'm not gonna lie, it does look a bit better than the elevator base. It does have a bit of more eye candy to look at. And if you really need to, you can use the zip line to get over to the manufacturing section of the game, but I've never used this, but it's there if you need it. The shooting range here will also provide a good source for getting your first ever gun if you needed one. There's also a charging station right inside the base so you never have to leave, and a coffee machine. And inside this locker room area, there is a bathroom inside here as well. If I have to be honest here, I actually never used this base during my playthroughs, but after analyzing and looking at locations, this may be a future playthrough base for me. Before I move on, let me give you guys an honorable mention. You can take the elevator upstairs to the upper floors of the offices. While this is a not bad area to make your base, but really anywhere could be a great location as long as you're okay with it, I would advise making this area a base location as it's pretty much far away from everything and you have to take that elevator up and down every single time in the early game. Not only that, but also there's a lot of office supplies that can spawn here, but if you put a crafting table nearby, it will despawn and not make those items return, so I advise against that so you can have those steady supply of office supplies. With the office bases down, we can now move on to the manufacturing section, and admittedly there's not really too many great locations here, but I'll show off what I found to be pretty decent locations. If facing the forge, go right and you'll find this little section with a ladder, but sometimes there'll be a pest right behind these boxes, so be aware that he might surprise you. Climbing up the ladder, we arrive on top of the forge, and this is pretty much it. It is on top of the forge, so you can talk to the blacksmith and get some stuff from him, so that's great. It's kind of in the heart of the manufacturing zone, so if you need a base here, this would work as well. But that's pretty much it. There's not much else to this location, but at least the enemies won't easily reach you from here. Now let's go down the ladder and go to another location that has a lot of helpful amenities. Across the forge, we would come across this garage section, and proceeding through the hallways, we'll find ourselves at the security office of this section. We call this the portal security room base. Compared to the other base on top of the forge, it's kind of far away, so that's kind of the trade-off here, but it's a bit cozier. As you can see, there is a big purple portal opened up that will open later on for you, but once opened up, this will be a nice shortcut between the manufacturing zone and labs. There is a charging station down the hallway, but there are some enemies that will respawn occasionally, so be ready for that. The bathrooms nearby will only open if you have the keypad hacker, which you should at this point have that, but of course your bathroom needs can be taken care of, and refillable sinks as well. But besides that, we couldn't really find any other location that we would deem very suitable as a base for the manufacturing zone. For example, the small little lounge area lacks a lot of things that would be useful for a base, like a nearby bathroom, cooking space, and whatnot. Not only that, but it's far away from everything else as well. I advise making a lot of forward operating bases, but don't rely on having a main base out here in manufacturing. But hey, if you manage to make a base out here in manufacturing that was really resourceful, let me know. I'm curious. The next base is located in labs, and this is perhaps one of the best bases in the game. It's so good it can operate as your base from as soon as you find it to end game. I call it the Aquarium Labs base. As soon as you arrive, you'll find that there are some bathrooms nearby, a containment bot that you can farm for its parts. I highly recommend you set up traps so you can easily farm him. As soon as you find the fish tanks, try to find your way towards this area where the stairs are across from the bathroom. Here's the containment bot's spawning location that you can use as reference, but once you go upstairs, that is where the base will be located. Once you've unlocked the tram of this area, you'll be able to get back to the main lobby easily, but this is what the base looks like. It is a huge, massive area. When you first arrive, you'll probably have to clear out the pests, but once you do, set up some crafting tables and you'll pretty much have a safe zone. Because of how much space you have, you can pretty much set up a lot of things that you would get from endgame here. Bathrooms are right downstairs. It's a bit of a walk, but hey, they're not that far. And if for some odd reason, if you need more space, set up some more crafting tables in the back and use this office section as more space for whatever you need. And one of the most important aspects of this is the aquarium tanks below you. You can use these tanks to fish for food, but also use the same water once cleaned as drinkable water. It sounds nasty, but hey, we're trying to survive out here. Really, I cannot overstate how important this location is as a base. I've seen other YouTubers use this as a base for their playthroughs, and to me, it's so close to so many different resources and locations that this would make an excellent main base location. Ultimately, I did find another location to call home after this one, so I'll get to that one in just a moment. The next area is security. No, don't set up a base here. This is insane. You're crazy if you do. This will be the final base I show in this video because I'll have a reason why I'll stop showing some more after, but the final base I'm going to show you where I ended up making my home was in Hydroplant. Feel free to slow down to get to where we got to because it can be a little bit complicated to get to where our base is. But I have no doubts you'll find this location by playing naturally. After a bit of hopping and jumping around, you'll finally arrive at the apartment section of this area. And admittedly, I chose this location as our final base because I honestly just find it very comfy. The gym you see here is mostly for aesthetics, but I kinda dig it. I like to claim it as my own. There are some bathrooms here with multiple sinks that can refill. We made the middle section a storage area with all of our crafting tools and tables. We have a kitchen section with so many stove tops that we can use for our soup making. The kitchen alone has a lot of space, so you can put all your cooking related things in here. This small fountain can endlessly supply your base with water as long as you clean it. The upstairs section also has a lot of space for whatever you need. We put our best friend in a containment over here, and because we have so much space for stuff, we turned some of the rooms into fun rooms like a little office arcade area. We turned one of the rooms into a portal room. So this is the reason why I don't recommend any more bases at this point. Late in the game, you'll have access to different teleportation methods. With this, you can pretty much make anywhere your base, go to any location for resources, and etc. As you can see here, we labeled each teleporter to go to a different section of the game, and with that, we really just picked one location to be our main base and picked it based on how we liked it. And so the waterfall apartments became our final base location, and we'll be using this going forward into 1.0 and onwards. That is until they drop whatever the homeworld system is, because this looks really pretty. But with that said, at this point in the game, you can pretty much do whatever and make whatever base you want. Hopefully the bases I suggest to you early on will help you out, and I hope you guys have fun with Abiotic Factor. We're so close to 1.0, and it's gonna be a banger of a game, I feel it.